Dana here. Hi, Flosstube. This is my very first Flosstube video. I have been wanting to come on and be a part of this community for a while. I've been watching and just loving it. And so I finally decided to take the jump in and make my first Flosstube video. So here I am. So I thought I'd start by introducing myself. Like I said, my name's Dana, and I am married to a wonderful man named Sean. We've been married for 26 years now, and he's super crafty too. I'll tell you more about him in future videos. And we have two kids. We have a daughter named Dara, and she is 21, and she's recently married. And so we have a wonderful son-in-law named Zach. And then we also have a 13-year-old son named Josiah, who's still home with us. And let's see, we also have a dog. His name is Mo. We call him Mo. Actually, there's a story behind that, but I'll tell you that some other time. But he's had like 5 names, but his name now is Mo. He is a Eskapoo, which is an American Eskimo and a poodle combined. And so they call him Eskapoos. And he's a fun dog. So we have a dog. And let's see, where do I live? I wrote down, I've got notes because I'm nervous and I wanted to be able to remember all the things. So we live in Vancouver, Washington, which is just the very southern part of Washington State, right across the from the bridge, the river from Portland, Oregon. So we're in the Pacific Northwest, which I love this area. And what I love about Vancouver is we're totally accessible to like the bigger city, Portland, but we're not. Vancouver's kind of a suburb of Portland. It's still a fairly large city with like, there's about 500,000 people that live here in Vancouver, Washington, but it has lots of little pockets that go out kind of in all different areas. And so we're kind of in the northern, little bit north part of Vancouver. So it feels smaller and not as busy as a big city. So, but we're accessible to the city if that's where we want to go. So I love living in the Northwest. I call myself a pluviophile, which means a lover of rain. So I love rain, and sadly we haven't gotten much at all this summer. We typically have lots of rain through like June, and then we do have like lots of beautiful dry weather during the summer, but we periodically have a day that'll rain here and there. In the summer we literally have had like nothing since the end of last spring, and we are actually expecting rain this next week, which is totally, we're all kind of like, really, is it going to come? Oh my goodness. So, and we're supposed to get like 4 days of rain, which I'm just like, yay. It makes it feel like fall is actually really starting. So I'm excited about that. I love the Northwest. I actually wasn't born here. I was born in Kansas. I was born in Kansas City, Missouri, but my family, I grew up in Kansas City, like in Overland Park area, Kansas, and grew up there until I was 13. Loved being in Kansas, loved kind of my Kansas roots. I have a lot of family who lives in the Kansas area, Missouri, Arkansas, that whole kind of area. I have a lot of my roots there. And then when I was 13, my dad got a job transfer up to the Seattle area. And so we moved across the country, which was a big move. I was going into 7th grade. It was kind of the right time for a move. And so we ended up living in the Bellevue-Renton area up in the Seattle area. And that's where I went to junior high school. And then when I went to college, I attended a college down in Oregon called George Fox University. And that's where I met my husband. And George Fox University is in Newberg, Oregon, which is south of Portland, kind of nestled in the Willamette Valley. There's a whole bunch of small towns, and it's in Newberg, Oregon. And that's where I went to college, and that's where I met my husband. And then after my husband and I got married, we lived in the Newberg area for a while. And then we ended up, when I was pregnant with our daughter, we moved up here to the Vancouver area to be closer to my family. You know, when you have kids and you know you're going to want help from your family, or you're going to want to be closer, we wanted to move. And then also his job allowed him to transfer. He was able to work in Portland, and so it was perfect. It worked for his job, it worked for me, having a new baby, that kind of thing. So, and then we've been here in Vancouver ever since, and we love it. We love Vancouver area. Let's see. What's my story with cross stitching? Like, why would I want to do Flosstube? So I really wanted to do Flosstube because I love the community. I've been so inspired by you guys. Like, you guys are such a kind, loving, creative group of people, and I would just love to be a part of this community. And I love to be creative. I'm very crafty, and I would just love to get to know some of you. I don't have very many friends who stitch. I have just a couple, and um, they're not friends that I see very often. And some of my other longtime friends, they're crafty in other ways, but they don't cross stitch. And so I'm just really wanting to build cross stitch, like love of cross stitch community. And so I'm super excited about that part of it. Also, I kind of wanted to journal my adventures in cross stitch, because I'll share a little bit more. I'm kind of a newer to cross stitch person, and so I kind of wanted to journal my journey. And then also, cross stitch has been, and crafting for me has been a huge part of my healing, just with some long-term health challenges that I've had. And so it's been very therapeutic for me. It's been when I couldn't do things that required a lot of energy or being up and around, I was able to do crochet and cross stitch and things like that have brought a tremendous amount of healing to me. It's very therapeutic, it's very calming, and it's, even if you're down, like you can't be up, you don't have any energy, but you're hanging out in your recliner or you're on the couch, it's still something I could be doing with my hands. I could make gifts for people. I could still shop for yarn and patterns online. And so it's really been a therapy and a wonderful hobby and craft for me to be a part of. So pardon me if I'm getting used to where to look on the camera. I'm like looking down at the video, but then I realized that the camera is up higher. So here, there we go. Anyways, I'll figure out how to do this. I'll get better. So that's my why, and why I wanted to do a Flosstube. And then let me just share kind of how I found you guys and how I got into cross stitching and crafts. So I've always, like I said, I've always loved creating. I've always loved crafting since I was very little. My mom talks about having to always have big stashes of construction paper on hand, and she would buy me the new Crayolas every year for school, and I've always loved to just dive in and make things. I loved, early on, I fell in love with stickers as a kid. I would love sticker collections and loved using stickers. As I got older, I started doing like scrapbooking, where I would just, or like almost like little memorabilia books, where I would just collect all these little things from my year and things that I loved. And then I got into paper crafts a lot as I got older. I used to also, in college, I really loved to make people like gift boxes. Like, I would throughout the year collect little things that just reminded me of them, or their favorite, snack, or little things, little trinkets and things. And then I would put together these little fun surprise packages, and I used to love to send them to my friends. It was kind of a way that I stayed connected when we all kind of split up and went to different schools and stuff after high school. So that was fun. And then as I got older, I got into paper crafting. And I have a dear friend, Nancy, who is a real crafting buddy of mine throughout the years, and we went to a stamping class with Close to My Heart one night. And we both just freaked out, loved it. We were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And she's like, okay. She at the time had little kids, and she's like, I can't do this, but you could. So she was like, you need to sign up. You need to become a teacher, and then I'll just buy all the stuff through you, and I'll help you get a group of people together, and we'll make like a stamping group. And so, anyways, she convinced me to teach classes with Close to My Heart. So I got wildly into stamping and scrapbooking and stuff with them. And I taught classes with them for about 8 years and had a stamp club and had a fun group of people that we got together every month. And I never did it as like a wild, high pressure kind of thing. It was more I wanted to create just a fun community around it. And so we had a stamp club we did every month, and that was really fun. And then I got pregnant with our son, and I had a really difficult pregnancy and ended up having to be on bed rest. And I was having a lot of challenges. And I ended up having to wind down that teaching of Close to My Heart, and ended up stopping that. I still continued to stamp and scrapbook on my own, but I had to kind of wind down doing the class side of it and the business side. So, and then when we had our son, I got into Project Life scrapbooking, which is, for those of you that know, you know. It's by Stacy Julian. It's or not Stacy Julian, Becky Higgins. Excuse me. Becky Higgins created Project Life, and it's basically a super easy way to scrapbook where you have pocket pages and you just slide your 4x6 pictures in, and then in between the 4x6 pictures there was a little place for these little journaling squares that were printed cute, and you could just write a quick thing about your picture that would match with it, and you just filled in those and flip to the next page, picture picture picture, journal journal journal, and you were done. And I loved it. Really made scrapbooking really fun and easy, especially having a newborn, but still being able to feel like I was doing my paper craft. So anyways, I've fallen in love with Project Life, and I've done that on and off throughout the years just to keep up, my own scrapbooking. And then our son, shortly after he was born, we found out that he had a rare spinal abnormality that he was born with that was going to require pretty extensive surgeries. And so we began a process of about 7 years with him of major spinal reconstructive surgeries, and he had about seven major spinal reconstructive surgeries over a period of actually about 5 years was the most intensive time. He had a brain surgery in there as well because had some issues in his upper spine as well. And so those recoveries, because they were orthopedic, bone related, structure related, the recoveries were extremely long. Like they would take like a year long, where he would be in body casts and all kinds of things. And he had to relearn how to walk 3 different times. And so there was all these major challenges where we spent a lot of time at the hospital, a lot of times in surgeries, physical therapy, recoveries, a lot of time where we were stuck at home for months and months, years at a time. And so I needed something to do with my hands, and I needed something that I could put down easily, pick up if I needed to, because he was very young. His first surgery was when he was 2. And so, he needed a lot of attention, a lot of, entertaining him, playing with him while he was going through all of this. And so I needed hobbies and things that I could do because my creativity was still flowing and it was still there. And yet I had these, the situation going on with our son. And so this big life change. And so that's how I found fiber crafting, and that's how I found crochet. And for those of you who crochet, I tried knitting actually. My mother-in-law's super, super crafty too, and so is my mom. But my mother-in-law had come down, and she's a big knitter, so she had taught us, well, not a huge knitter, she's actually a big quilter, but she had also knitted a little bit, so she taught me how to knit, and I did enjoy it, but it's like it would never quite click with me. And so, and I've heard from people that sometimes either knitting or crochet, one will click better than the other. So I kept trying and trying and trying to do knitting, and I enjoyed it. I loved the yarn. I loved all the colors. I loved all that, but it would never quite like click with me. So I put it down for a while, and then I decided I've got to do something. I want to learn. So I tried crochet. And I just, you guys, I literally fell in love with crochet. For those of you that know Mikey from the Crochet Crowd online, Mikey, if you ever watch this someday, thank you from the bottom of my soul. I watched all of his videos online about how to crochet, and basically I learned how to crochet from all of his YouTube videos, and I taught myself how to crochet through that, and just fell in love. And I was like a wild person at the beginning. I mean, I was cranking out washcloths like a crazy person at the beginning because you tend to start with really simple things. So that was just a wonderful, it was so calming for me in the midst of a really stressful season of our son's surgeries and all of those things. And so that's when I got into fiber crafting. And I crocheted for years. Our son is now 13, and he had his last surgery when he was 7.5, almost 8. And so, and just so you know, at some point I'll have him come on, I'm sure. He's doing great now. If you saw him, you wouldn't know that he'd had all these surgeries. He has some spinal things that we check on every year, but overall, he's doing fantastic. They were able to stabilize his spine, preserve his ability to walk. Someday as we go along, I'll probably, in some of my Flosstubes, share more of his story and um, more about those 5 years and what we went through with him, just in case it would ever be an encouragement or a help or support to anyone. Um, Anyways, so he's doing great now. But I crocheted for years, love crochet, right? So, so that leads me to now. I followed Mikey's videos and I've done all that stuff with the Crochet Crowd. I fell in love with like Lucy at Attic 24. I got a subscription box from Little Box of Crochet. I love the English community of crocheters. They're so wonderful. Like um, all the Attic 20 or the Attic 24 community with Lucy, and then also the Little Box of Crochet community was wonderful, and then Mikey's Crochet Crowd community. And so between all those things, and then also Queen Babs, I don't know if any of you guys have followed Queen Babs on Instagram, or struggles with a lot of chronic illness as well, and her Instagram feed actually really inspired me to use crochet and let it be my therapy as I was going through some health challenges and things of my own. And so anyways, I just loved the whole cross stitch, or excuse me, crochet. That was really a blessing to me for a long time. So then how did I get from crochet into cross stitching, right? Well, I love to watch crochet videos on YouTube, and occasionally I started randomly about 6 months ago. My husband's a big quilter, and so we were watching some quilting things on which I'll tell you more about his quilting adventures and how he learned how to quilt, and maybe even show you some of his stuff. I'm sure down the road too we'll tell more stories and maybe even you guys will get to meet him. He actually watches Flosstube videos with me and knows some of you guys by name and loves it. And he's funny. He's super creative himself. So it's like his people too, you know? um, Anyways, so what happened is we were watching some things through Fat Quarter Shop, and I noticed that I saw a Flosstube Flat Quarter Shop thing, and I thought, well, what is that? So I watched that, and that kind of opened the door to me to Flosstube. This was about this would have been, let's see, earlier this year. It was probably around February, or actually like March, April, when I found Flosstube. So I haven't found, it's only been, let's see, since April, March, let's go with March. April, May, June, July, August, September. So it's been about 6 months that I've been watching Flosstube. And so, and you guys know that once you find one Flosstube, then you know how YouTube will feed in you looked up Flosstube, here's another Flosstube, here's another Flosstube. And so then one day I decided to Google Flosstube. Hello. That was like the end of my naivety to Flosstube. It just opened up a whole world. I had no idea that there was all these people, that there was all these Flosstube channels. And so I just started trying and listening. And so at night I started, and I got super um, excited to learn more about cross stitch. So let me go back up a little bit. Because I love crafts, I've always kind of loved to dabble in embroidery, and I've done a few embroidery projects, and I enjoyed embroidery a little bit, but I kind of would get like, I don't know, having to switch between the different kinds of stitches. Um, I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it as much. I would always have to go back and rewatch a video. Okay, how to do that stitch, and then how to do that stitch. And I'm sure it would come with time, but it, I don't know, it just never held my attention for very long. And yet I love the floss, I love the patterns and stuff. Well, I'd always found when I would go to places like Michael's or Joann's, or around here we have a chain of stores called Craft Warehouse. I would find, the little tiny small kid cross stitch kits, or the little beginner cross stitch kits. And here and there, I would, tell my husband, like, oh, I like those, or can I pick one of those up? And so I would get them. And I had 3 or 4, but I'd never done them. So this last fall, so a year ago right now, I thought, I should try one of these. I should like play with it. So I had this little tiny turkey one, and I wish so bad I still had it. You guys, it got recycled. I know, can you believe it? So anyways, I had this little tiny turkey one for Thanksgiving, and I was playing around with it, but I knew nothing. Like, I hadn't watched a video. I just was following the instructions on the inside of the thing. So my stitches were going every which way. I didn't, it just wasn't pretty, right? And so I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. Plus, you're using that really stiff Aida, and that really crunchy, it's just one of those little beginner kits. The needle wasn't very good. The floss was really cheap, And so, and we all know, if you're a crafter, you know that your tools make all the difference in the world. If you have quality tools, you're going to have such a better experience. Well, I was using, beginner kit. So it was okay, but I was like, oh, this didn't turn out, this is kind of weird and whatever. So I put that down, but I just love the patterns, and I love the floss. And so for Christmas, I had asked my husband for a couple cross stitching kits, and I said, and I wanted, like, so from Fat Quarter Shop and some different places, I was like, I want the whole kit. I love snowmen, and I love Christmas. And so I had found a set by, I think it's Annie B's Folk Art. I think I have it here. Here it is. Oops, let me get used to the camera so I don't get the glare. There we go. Annie B's Folk Art. It's the 9-part Snowman series. And this is the first one. And it's 9 patches of different snowmen. And if you get to know me, I love snowmen. I love Christmas, and I love snowmen. And so I was like, and it came in a kit. Like, it has all the floss, has the polka dotted fabric and all the stuff. And so I had asked him for that for Christmas, and he got it for me, and I was super excited. But I still was like, gosh, I don't quite know how to do anything, and what do I do? And so and then I saw Country Needleworks came out with their monthly sampler sets. So, these Country Cottage Needleworks. All of their excuse me, whoa, again. The Country Cottage Needleworks, their sampler series that they came out with. I just fell in love with this, you guys. And I was like, oh my word, I've just got to learn cross stitch. I love this little sampler series. I want to start doing it. I want to figure out cross stitch. I'm going to do it. So, but here's the really funny part. Where I originally bought it from, I actually don't even remember. It was some store where they sold the monthly thing, and they sold it along with the 32 count linen that, I don't know, they talked about it as being on the, on 32 count linen. I think in the patterns it talks about it when you go to the, the fabric that they recommend that it be done on, or that they share that it was shown in the picture on, was 32 count beautiful beige linen by Witchell. And I was like, oh, well, then I've got to have that, right? Because again, brand new crock stitcher, don't have a clue, haven't seen Flosstube yet, so you guys hadn't taught me anything. So anyways, so I get the 32 count linen, never cross stitched before except for on the little beginner thing. And I was doing, and again, linen, right? Not even just even weave, linen. I was like completely confounded. Like every stitch was like, oh my gosh. Okay, so I had to like, I'm supposed to go over two threads, but I've got two threads going over two, and I had to count, and I didn't know if I was in the right holes. And on linen, the fibers go like this. Oh my goodness, you guys, struggle, struggle, struggle. But I loved just how simple it was, making X's, making X's. And I was like, this is really fun. But I was like, there's no way I can do it on this fabric. So that was when I started Googling, like, are there other fabrics besides linen? Can I switch my linen up? And then I started learning on all these blog posts and stuff about, oh, there's Ada and there's even weave and there's all these different sizes. And so at that point, a lot of people had switched to that for who were doing the Country Cottage Needleworks monthly samplers. They were doing this on 16 count, on the 16 count Ada. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to give that a whirl. So I got that and I did that, and that was it. I fell in love. I got better needles because I got them from Fat Quarter Shop. I got the 16 count Ada. I got the DMC. I love DMC. I'm a big DMC person. And so I got the DMC floss, which was nice. I had good tools and got Q-snap frame. I was reading about those. And so then my cross stitch experience became so fun. Like I just fell in love with it to the point that I actually put my crochet down for quite a while. I know. Can you believe it? But now I do both now still. I picked it back up. I knew I would never leave crochet, but I just fell in love hook, line, and sinker with cross stitch. So I started cross stitching, but I will tell you, I'm a little bit of a slower cross stitcher because I'm new, and I didn't have, it took me a while to kind of, you have to find times and watch classes, and I have a little magnifier that it's a little magnifier thing with a light that helps me see, and so it just took me a while to kind of get into my rhythm. And then I found Flosstube. I found you guys, and holy cow, you guys are amazing. You're encouragers, you're enablers, you are fun to hang out with. I learned so much from you guys. And that's how I just have stitched more. I have started more projects. I found more patterns. I've got some great tools. I finally, I don't know if you see right here, ooh, this way, this right here, this black, ooh, sorry, I can't, this thing. My husband actually helped me organize all of my floss, which I'll have to do a video about that sometime, because he was like, your floss was exploding. My mother-in-law, her name is Mary. She had this whole stash of DMC floss that she tried stitching, never really got into it. She's just a die-hard quilter. And so she was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with all this floss. And when she found out that I was cross-stitching, she sent me all of her floss, which was the most amazing gift and blessing. I couldn't believe it. And so, but at that point, my husband was like, your floss is everywhere. I was digging in bags, and every time I would want to start a new project, I'd have to sit there and literally go through, all your 100 skeins of floss trying to find, do I have the right number? Do I need to order it? Do I need to go buy it? And so that's when he found me these organizers just on Amazon, very inexpensive, and we organized them, and it's been awesome. So that's fun. So that's how I got into stitching, and that's why I love it. I love it because it continues to be therapy for me. It's so calming. All of us with this whole pandemic in the last year and a half, and how hard things have been, and having to be at home and all those things. It has just been my hobbies, my cross stitching and my crochet have been such a refuge of just peace, encouragement, laughter with all of you guys, and learning your stories. And it's just been, I love it, love it, love it, love it. And I can't wait to stitch like every day. I can't wait till, I try to find at least a little pocket every day where even if it's just for 10 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever, I can find time to do some stitching. And I love the times where I get longer, like an hour, where I can sit down in the evenings and watch you guys on Flosstube and just stitch and be inspired and laugh and also be totally enabled by you guys. Half the time I keep like a pad of paper with me. I've got my pen and my paper, and I'm like, and I'm like, have to put my stitch down, and I'll have to be writing down like, oh, check out that Instagram. Oh, don't forget that Etsy shop. Oh, look at that needle minder. Like, you guys, it's bad. We're kind of a naughty bunch, aren't we? I mean, we're really fun and sweet and nice, but we're also a little naughty. But I think it's wonderful. I think anything that doesn't harm anybody, and I'm all about having a stash and having it's just such a fun thing, and it brings joy. And I have so many ideas for gifts for people, and yeah. Anyways, I could go on and on. So that's how I got started, and that's why I'm here. And yeah, I would, so I thought, so I guess that's all about me. Sorry, I'm kind of like, oh, I guess that's all about me. There's more like I'll just tell you little bits about me as we go along, I guess. That those are kind of the main things. Although I will say I'm loving Christmas. I love Christmas music. And I'm thinking about it today because my daughter messaged me and she's like, Mom, it's time to turn on the Christmas music. She loves Christmas music too. So we have officially been, I mean, she's married, so she has her own place, but her house, our house, everywhere, we're starting to blare and play Christmas music now. And I just love it. I love Christmas music. Yeah. So I was just thinking about that. I had to mention that. So, okay. I thought I would show you a few finishes that I have. So I, again, like I said, have been kind of a slower cross stitcher. So I've been slowly getting started. So the very first project that I did, so I have a subscription to the Cross Stitcher magazine. And I have to tell you, and you know how it comes with these free little projects every month when you get it. This is a subscription, or this is a magazine from England, I think it is. But I have to tell you, I have a little bit of an obsession with Britain, England, the UK. So for all of you guys out there who are across the pond from us, I love watching you guys, and so I love that it has, this way. See how it says Royal Mail? Isn't that fun? I love to get something from the Royal Mail, which I know you guys are probably laughing at me right now, but I love that. So anyways, my very first project that I worked on was one of the free little, well, I did the Country Cottage Needleworks. That was going, but my very first project that I finished was a little project, one of these little projects in the Cross Stitcher magazine. It is, I'm going to call it the Happy Birthday Mouse. I actually made it for my mother-in-law, not Mary. It's my husband's stepmother-in-law, and it was for her birthday, and it's a little mouse holding a little birthday cake. And I actually don't have it because I sent it to her. It went inside a little card, and I sent it to her for her birthday. But I have pictures, so I'm gonna go like this, and I'm hopefully gonna know how to edit and insert the pictures here in the video. And so I did it on I used all the thread they sent, I used the fabric they sent, and I learned a lot when I did this stitch because it was a really fun it was a pretty fast little stitch, but I learned how to do back stitch with this, and I couldn't believe the difference between when the actual project was done, the cross stitching was done, to when I went around and added the back stitch. It just defined the whole thing, and it made it turn out so cute. So that was my very first fully finished item. And so hopefully I'll be able to insert the pictures right here. And then let me show you my other finishes. So let me get this ready. I had it ready. Let me get this one ready. Okay. so this is my Country Cottage Needleworks January sampler. And let me pull up the information that I did. So I wrote, okay. Here we go. So this is done on 16 count Witchelt. You know what, you guys? I cannot remember the name of. I think it's Beautiful Beige. It's the one that like everybody's using. I'm pretty sure it's Beautiful Beige, but it's the Witchelt 16 count. And sorry, I'm getting used to the camera and how to do this. Let me move this down a little bit and see if that works. There we go. So I just love those little snowmen. Love the house. You know, I love how the repeating pattern. It was just really a fun stitch to do. I learned about French knots. Woo, those things are intense. And I should have, excuse me, I should have practiced more before I did it, but I didn't. And so I had to take them out and redo them. But I finally got them figured out. And I was able to do them for the little snowmen and the stuff. So anyways, that was my, that's a finish that I did. And then along the same Country Cottage Needleworks, I also have done the February one. So here's the February one, the whole thing, right? So cute. I love the fun colors. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go back and add the little window panes. On some of them, I like the window panes, the little black, because on this one, see how there's the little window panes on the house? On this one, not sure that I wanted like the black. I just love how light colored this one is, so I'm not sure. But at the same time, since there's the little black lines on the envelopes, I'm thinking that I should probably put the window panes in. You should tell me in the comments, you guys, if you think, should I add the window panes or should I not? Which do you think would look better? It might look better. But anyways, so this is the February sampler. And so fun. These have been such a fun stitch, and I've learned lots doing them. Just learned so much about counting, you know, how to start, you know, just getting used to changing threads, learning how to do the little, you know, like when they have individual stitches, like right here when they have the little berries, and how do you do just one stitch and then be able to go up and do just one more stitch and not carry your thread everywhere and make it look crazy. I mean, I do a lot of carrying. I'm not going to show you the back of this, but just learning, you know, how to do like one little cherry on the top of that cake. And so it's been like a learning fun. And thank God for all of your guys' tutorials and different things that I've on YouTube, because I've learned so much. So anyways, that's my other finish that I've done. And so that's all I have for now. Like I said, I'm kind of a slower, more basic stitcher, but I thought I would show you, I've got a lot of whips going, got a lot of works in progress. So I thought I would show you all of my whips now. Okay, so the first one I'll show you is my, it's my Vintage Christmas Sampler by Laurie Holt. It is, oops, sorry, this one. You can see this on the Vintage Christmas Sampler by Laurie Holt. I got it at the Fat Quarter Shop. This one was actually one of the kits that my husband Sean got me for Christmas last year. He got me that snowman one and he got me this one. And if you're a new stitcher, this is an amazing pattern because it has a lot of block type, you know, like the gingerbread is all one color. The stocking is just, so there's a lot of block areas where you're just doing one color, and it's just good to build up your stitch rhythm. And so it's really helpful for me. That it's really fun. And it's the fabric that came in the kit is 10 count, I think. Yeah, 10 count, which is huge. I wouldn't tend to be drawn to that long term. Like I more love the 16, 14, 16, 18 count, um, Witchell Ada and that kind of stuff. Zygarde, but I think that's how you say it. But anyways, it's a fun, as a beginner, it's a great place to start. So vintage Christmas sampler, and here is, I'll hold this up. So here's my progress. I've got Santa done, I've got part of the gingerbread, and I'm starting some of the other boxes, right? And it's got my little, needle minder. Anyways, so isn't he cute? Santa's cute. Love his little eyes and stuff. So that's my progress on that one. Also, I have to give a shout out to, I love project bags. You guys, oh my word, it's like a whole nother rabbit trail you can get lost in, is all of the amazing, gorgeous, beautiful project bags. But I very quickly, when I do crafts, I like things to have a place. Like I was sticking things in Ziplocs and I was like, oh my word, where do I put all this stuff? How do I keep it all together? And then I learned about project bags. And oh my goodness, what a genius concept, right? So I will confess that I'm still a zippy bag person. I put all my floss in here, and partly why I do it is because, and maybe you guys can tell me. So I see you guys using all the floss, what are they called? Floss hanger things, and that's awesome. But like when I pull the floss out, right? And let's say I have floss left, or it comes down to where I've just got like this is getting really skinny, right? I've only got like 1 or 2 threads left or whatever. My floss tends to fall off of the floss hangers. And so what I like about the zip bags is that when I just have a little bit of floss left, I just can stick them back in here. And then when I go stitch again, it's already ready to go. Or like my white one is perfect example. See, I've still got some left. I've got a whole other skein of it, but all of my leftover stuff and little pieces, or not pieces, but my leftovers are still in there. So I don't know. That's why I'm still kind of hung up using these, and I can't quite transition to the floss holders. But you may have to tell me more about it. I'm open to trying them, and I'll see how things go. But that's where I'm at with that. So let me give a shout out to this bag was made. This is a project bag made by Pam's Needle and Threads on Instagram or on Facebook, on Etsy. Oh my word. She's on Instagram and Etsy. It's Pam's Needle and Thread. And actually, this bag, my husband contacted her. I don't know if you can see the trees in here. Let me pull this out. See the tree fabric? My husband contacted her and asked if he could send in some fabric and if she would make me bag for, and so that's what he did. He picked out combos of fabric that he knew I would love or like, and then she made the bags. And what I love about these project bags is she quilts the back of them. So they're quilted all the way through, right? They quilt. And it makes the bag really firm so it doesn't flop over. It's hard for me when the bags flop over because when I stand this up, I want it not to be like flopping, right? And or the top to be hanging down or that kind of thing. I love how she puts in just a little bit of, I think it's the interfacing or the batting, and then she quilts it on the, and it goes all the way through. This back piece is quilted and it just stands firmer, and I like that. So Pam's Needle and Threads. Thank you, Pam. I love your bags. They're amazing. And I have a project bag addiction. Also, my friend Nancy, the one I told you about, who's super crafty, do you see these little charms? For my birthday this year, she sent me a whole little baggie. They're actually supposed to be little stitch markers for knitting, but her and I used to drink lots of coffee together, and love coffee. And she got me a little rainbow set of these little stitch markers. And you guys, stitch markers make really great little project zipper bag pulls. So I took each different one and I matched them to my different project bags. And every time I unzip them, it makes me smile and think of that. Think of her. So, okay. There's one of those. Then I had the, let's see. Where is it? Actually, I thought I pulled it out, but maybe I put it back here. Oh, here we go. Then I have, this is another one of Pam's bags. Pam's Needle and Thread. This is another whip. This is the Flea Market Flowers from Fat Quarter Shop from Laurie Holt that a lot of people were doing earlier this year. I was all intending to do this stitch along and totally follow along, and I got started and then I got totally sidetracked by you guys. It's your fault on Flosstube. And I got so into, it's like kind of the time when I got opened up to all these new patterns and all these new stitching adventures that I just started a whole bunch of whips, and this didn't get very much attention. So I do love it still, and I plan to come back to it, but I'm kind of guessing that I'll probably come back to it more like in the spring. But I do have it started, so I just thought I'd show you briefly. But look at how cute this bag is, you guys. Strawberries on the inside. Isn't that so cute? Now, this one my husband didn't send. This was one that she sold in her shop. Such a cute bag. And then, of course, I put on the little stitch marker from my friend in the green, because I thought fun, the green and the red went together. And so, anyways, here's my start. Here's my whip. I got it started. I've got the whole corner going. But I'm probably going to take it off of here, take it off the Q-snap, and then just store it and kind of work on it again in spring. But it's definitely a work in progress. And so it was really fun to get started on this. And the colors are just so beautiful on it. Loved it. Oops. So there's that. Oops. I'll come and fix that later. Okay. Another one of my whips right now that I am loving is another Pam's bag. Notice, is that so cute for Halloween? All these little bats. And again, it's quilted. And let me show you this one. The inside fabric on this bag, you guys, is so, oh, I'm getting glare, sorry. So cute. Isn't that so cute with the little ghosts and little, it's just such a cute fabric line. And again, little zipper pull. I had a little orange one from my friend. Little stitch marker. And I do have the thread keeper. You guys, everybody told me about Denise at Goose. And so I did buy some of her thread keeps, and I love these. These are amazing, you guys. So of course, this is our fall, a fall coffee and latte and that kind of thing. And so love this for keeping my thread scraps, needle. And then I do roll up my little extra threads while I'm working. So that's in here. Anyways, this is my, let me pull up my info. Okay, let me show you the pattern first, yes. So here's the pattern. It's by the Floss Box on Etsy, and it's called Halloween Ride. Isn't that so cute? I just love it. Love those little pumpkins on like little dancing pumpkins on a stick below. I love the little chicken that's on the pattern with her. I just thought it was so cute. So that is the pattern, and I am using a 14 count. Of course, did I write it down? Please tell me I wrote it down. I did. I'm using this is a 16 count Witchell Ada, and it's in Peaceful Purple. And so this is my start. I've got her all, she's so cute. I just love that little heart is actually part of like her little wand, I think. And of course I started the little, her little broom, and it's so fun in stitching to see the picture slowly develop. It's like art with floss. Like you start with almost nothing and then it just slowly starts coming to life, and it's so fun. So that's my, again, this is the Peaceful Purple 16 count Witchelt Ada, and I'm using all the called for DMC on this project. And then this is my little Halloween needle minder that I actually just got from Stitchingly Along. Stitchingly Along on Etsy is a fun shop that has, I love, it's a resin type of needle minder, very thin, but the magnet works really well. And I really love their needle minders. So that's that work in progress. I'm loving that one for, I'm hoping to get that done here in the next little while so that I can have it out for Halloween. Put it up. It'd be so fun. I can't wait to start like decorating my house for all the holidays with my little stitching stuff. So let's see what is next. Did that one, did that one, did that one. Oh, okay, so another one that I'm working on. So Mom, if you watch this video, now's when you're going to want to close your eyes, okay? Because I'm working on a project. It's by Forest Embroidery. I love Forest Embroidery. You guys, I love their patterns. Their samplers are really pretty. I just adore this. This is the Hummingbird pattern, and my mother loves hummingbirds, and they have a lot of significance, meaning they remind us of my granddad and my aunt and grandma who have all passed, and hummingbirds just remind us of them. And so I wanted to make this for my mom. And so again, Forest Embroidery, and I am making this on, let me pull up the information. Let's see here. I made my own little, this is just a little notebook that I had that's got, you know, lined paper, and I kind of did my own little like, you know, project, pattern name, the designer, the start date, end date, what's it stitched on, the stitch size, and then all the floss, and then any notes. And then I have kind of an extra page that I'm going to snap a picture of it and stick it here so that if I give them as gifts, or if they're, you know, moved around the house or whatever, I'll still always have a picture next to my project so I'll remember what I did. So that's what I'm doing there, to kind of keep track of my stuff. Anyways, I do not have, okay guys, I'm learning. This is my first Flosstube, so please have grace. I'm pretty sure this is 16 count. 16 count Witchelt Ada, but it's like in an ice blue is what I want to think of that. I'm 95% sure that's what it is. And this is my start. Just barely got this one started. I am loving the variegated floss from Forest. Isn't it so pretty how it just naturally variegates? So beautiful. And then they send you with the kit, you get this matching, well, you get a little needle minder. So fun. So anyways, this is my little start to the Forest. Now I will tell you, in this one I decided to get brave, and I put my all my floss, because the Forest floss comes in these little skeins all twisted up, and so I went ahead and took them off and I put them onto a floss keeper from Fat Quarter Shop. This is the Fat Quarter Shop flea market flowers floss keeper that matches that other project I was doing. But I thought, okay, since I pulled these off, I'll try this for a while and see how it works. And so I'm kind of playing around with it. I need to learn a little more. Any tips you guys have would be awesome. But so far it's working okay. And then I have this little thread keeper from, again, this one isn't from Dot Dot Goose. This one is from the Brass Button on Etsy. She makes really cute little simple thread keepers. And I have been using that for all of my, my little, I don't know what they're called. When you trim your floss off. I know there's a name for it that you guys call it. I can't remember. But anyways, that I'm using that. And so far, so good. And I will see, I'll have to let you know kind of how it goes. But I'm just, when I'm done, I just kind of twist my floss up like this. And then it's just all in here in my bag, ready to go. This is another project bag by Pam's Needle and Threads. Is that, yeah. Pam's Needle and Thread. Isn't this beautiful? It's like botanical. It's all these botanical plants and herbs. Again, I love the quilting for the firmness. And then on the inside, it's just a beautiful kind of grassy printed fabric. It's just so pretty. And did I put a little, oh, I don't have a little bag thing. I'll have to get a little stitch marker. I'll have to find one. So that is that work whip that I got. And then, let's see, I've got, okay, this next one, guys. Okay, so I had a big birthday this year. I turned 50 and back in April, and my husband was super sweet. Okay, so let me give you a little history. I share a birthday with the Queen of England. So my birthday is April 21st and her birthday is April 21st. And I've always kind of over the years, I think I discovered this when I was in high school. I found out that the Queen of England and I had the same birthday. And so my friends kind of started joking to me that like, oh, haha, she's the Queen of England and you're the Queen, here. And it was just kind of a running joke we had. And then I kind of forgot about it. But then when I got older, I would see here and there on the internet, she was having her birthday. We're like, oh yeah, we share a birthday, how fun. And then I, over the years, started following a little bit of the royal family. And I loved when, of course, everyone remembers when Princess Diana passed and how tragic that was. And I remember watching when her and Prince Charles got married and just followed a little bit of that. And I think here in America, here in the States, we have a little bit of a fascination because we don't have a king and queen. It's such a foreign concept to us. And so to see the royal family and what part it plays in your country is just really fun and interesting. And I love to follow it. Then I also fell in love with I kind of over the years have watched Prince William and Harry grow up and loved seeing how Prince William, fell in love with Kate and just that whole thing. And so that's kind of, where I am. I don't follow the whole extended, like way into all the different people. I don't know all of that. I just really know the real basics. But so back to my birthday. This year, I realized I was turning 50 and the Queen was turning 95, which are both kind of significant milestones, in birthdays. And so the joke as an adult over the last probably 5 or so years with my husband, I've been like, oh, excuse me and the Queen will be talking this week and we're making our birthday plans. So I will have her people call you with our plans that need to be carried out for my birthday. And my husband and I would just have this running funny joke about it. And so I was like, oh, me and the Queen, we have an appointment today. We're talking about our birthdays. And so anyways, this year, because it was my 50th birthday, I was like, oh, we've got big plans. And she's turning 95. So big plans, me and the Queen, we've got a tea party plan and the whole thing. And it was just kind of a joke. Well, my husband took that idea and he planned a 50th birthday tea for me with my parents. The kids came over. It was just us. It was just our family. And it was so special. He ordered flowers from our friend who's a florist. Shout out to Cynthia. And then he got these beautiful china tiered china stands. And he found a local catering place that did English tea boxes full of things like scones, sconces, or excuse me, scones, not sconces, scones, mini sandwiches, tarts, savories, desserts, like all the things. And it was so cute. They were all set out on these little tiered things, and then we got all these little, yummies. And then he got out several of our teapots, and he made all this tea, and then we had these beautiful flowers. I mean, it was so special, you guys. And then he contacted my friends, and asked them to send me cards. And so I love getting snail mail, so that was really fun. I kind of got showered with a bunch of birthday cards. And then, so that was my 50th birthday. So I'm sharing that because it has to do with my last whip that I'm going to share with you guys. So I saw this pattern shortly after that celebration, and I was like, oh my goodness, I have to stitch this. So, oh goodness, let me see where it is. Let me see where the picture is. Here it is. So this is a free pattern. So I think I can show it because it's a freebie, right? I'm pretty sure I can. Or maybe I'm not supposed to show the pattern, but this is called the Royal Wedding Freebie, and it's on the stitcherhood.com. So see that? The Royal Wedding Freebie on the stitcherhood.com. Looks like this. And you can just print it out. And I loved that it was a heart. And it was originally, I think, supposed to be for Meghan and Harry's wedding. I didn't know that this was available back then. And so when I saw this, I was like, oh my goodness, this is like my love of, the Queen, her birthday, all things British. And so I thought, how fun would it be to stitch this up? And then I thought I would put my the Queen's initials here and 95, and then my initials here and 50, and then put like up here maybe 2021, just like a little commemorative stitch. And maybe on the back write a little thing that explains why I love how, just how I've had that connection with the Queen over the years. So that's my that's this work in progress, my whip. So let me slide my needle minder down. So here's this one. This is how far I am. And again, I'm using a really small Q-snap. It's a 6-inch. I tend to like the smaller 6 and 8 ones because it doesn't hurt my wrist when I hold it. And so the heart actually goes lower and it goes goes farther over, but I'm gonna have to move. So I'm trying to fill in everything before I move my Q-snap. Also, this is, you can tell, this was before I learned about serging the edges of your fabric. So this is when I use washi tape, which washi tape works to keep the edges of your fabric good, but this was before I knew about serging. So anyways, this is my, the wedding freebie, the Union Jack heart. I just love it. Super excited. I think it's really fun. I can't wait to finish it and frame it and add the little stuff. So yeah, so that is that, and it's my works in progress. And then I have some things kitted up but not started yet that I thought I'd show you. So I've got my the next, I just showed you this at the beginning, the Country Cottage Needleworks, the March sampler. I figured since I finished the January one and the February one, now I'll get started on the March one. Isn't that cute? The little rainbows and the leprechauns. I figure I'll try and get those done, keep rolling through the months so that as we get to next year, then I'll be able to pull out each one and get them done. So I haven't done anything. It's just all kitted up in this bag. Again, this is another bag from Pam's Needles and Thread. And this was one that my husband sent in. This was a fabric that he sent in. I love, this is Doodlebug fabric. I love really cute, this little cute fun. And then my friend Nancy, she actually sent me this stitch marker that has a birthday cake. It was for part of my 50th birthday. And so I put that on my project bag because it's just fun. Of course, I got my floss, my Q-snap, and believe it or not, I'm so proud of myself. You guys have encouraged me and taught me well. But I serged the edge of my fabric. So it's now that I've started doing this, so much better of an experience, you guys. And my fabric isn't shredding everywhere, and I'm not having that sticky, the washi tape going everywhere. And so anyway, so this is all kitted up and ready to go. I'll probably start that here in the next little while. I have some other things kitted up, but I'm not gonna. I don't want this video, my first video, to be too long because I know I'm brand new and I don't want to blabber on for too long. I don't know what's how long people how long we should share. Anyways, yeah, that was super fun. Also, I have to show you when I very first started doing cross stitching, I ran into this on Etsy. Hello, is Etsy not just the most amazing place? I mean, I could open up Etsy and there's so much creativity out there, and I just love all the shops. I love how people share their creativity and then they offer different things that we can buy. It's so amazing. Anyways, there was this antique. Well, once I started buying looking at needle books and needle minders and all the different things and embroidery. This was back when I was actually embroidering. You know how the Etsy starts giving you a feed of, oh, you might like this, you might like this. Well, I ran across this. You see this? This is a hand embroidered needle book. Is this not the most beautiful thing ever? So here's the story behind it. This was actually listed. Let me show you inside. It's a little needle book. It says handcrafted by Anne Humphreys. Is that what it says? Anne Humphreys. Yep, there's an S at the end. And it has several pages in here of the little fabric to keep your needles on. And it's just and it's so beautifully stitched, you guys, like just so beautiful. And when I saw this, I freaked out. I had to have this. And my husband got this for me for Christmas last year, along with the first kits, the ones that I showed you earlier. And this was actually from a vintage a shop that bought things from estate sales. So she buys things from estate sales, like all these, like when people, sell off all their estate stuff or their family people, their parents die or whatever. And so she had just found this randomly in the things from this one home. So it wasn't like there was nothing else with it. There wasn't any more information other than this, and it came from Australia. So some estate sale in Australia, there's an Anne Humphreys who stitched this beautiful needle book, and her stitches, you guys, just inspire me. I just love thinking that there was some woman who put her heart and love into making this beautiful little needle book. And so I use this. I love using this as well in some of my projects, but it's kind of really precious to me. So I'm really selective about which projects I use it in because it's just so pretty. I almost just want to stare at it and look at it because it's just so beautiful. So anyways, that was something that my husband got for me. Okay, so now haul, you guys, haul. I mean, if you stitch, you stash, right? I stitch, therefore I stash. My husband got me this. He surprised me with this needle minder that he just got me. It says, I stitch, therefore I stash. Is that so funny? I'm like, yes, I do. And so this is from Mad for Minders. I stitch, therefore I stash. They have, this is on Etsy. She has just like hundreds of needle minders. And again, this is that resin, really thin. They're very thin, but they have the really good magnets. They hold the needles really well. I've never had any problems with them, and I really like them. So anyways, I'm super excited to use this I stitch, therefore I stash, because partly my husband is so supportive of my hobby because he's a quilter, and you guys know who are quilters and fabric lovers that you got to have all the stash, right? You got to have the fabric lines, you got to have the stuff. And so his hobby is probably way more expensive than mine. And so he, I'm actually looking on the other side. Someday in the future, I will flip this camera around and I will show you his stash of fabric because it lines this back wall. Um, he has a lot of stash, and we love to kind of support each other in our hobbies that way, which is really fun. So anyways, there's that. And then he also, when he got me this, he also got me this pattern, which I just love. It is Mary Poppins, and it is by the Little Stitcher. Mary Poppins. And I love that saying, open different doors, you may find a you there that you never knew was yours. I just love that. It just speaks of possibility and growth and how we can continue to change and grow over time. I know my husband, it's been a big growing thing having our daughter get married and have an adult child now, and then our son's 13, and it's just different seasons of life, right? Different parts of you grow and come out, and I just love that. Plus, hello, Big Ben, the whole English flair, it's like right up my alley. So I can't wait to stitch this. I'm not sure when I'm going to start it. I think because of holidays and stuff, I might wait till the new year, but I'm not sure. Isn't fall fun for that reason? You can just dream and think about when you want to do it. The other thing I recently got is I got a few more, you guys, I love needle minders. It's so dangerous. Needle minders are dangerous. So when I got that little cute Halloween candy corn one, I told you I got them from Stitchingly Along. Excuse me. Yeah, maybe I didn't tell you the candy corn one, but I got them from Stitchingly Along. And I also at the same time got 2 Christmas ones. I got this little guy. Let me get the glare off. He's a little Christmas mug, little mocha Christmas hot chocolate. Love that. And then I got a pink one. Isn't pink snowman sitting in a little teacup, which I just thought was super cute. And these, and then I got that little cute candy corn. This one, let's see, where is it? The little cute candy corn one. I got that one too. And that is all from Stitchingly Along on Etsy. Wonderful, fun. Hello. If I'm going to be doing Christmas projects, I've got to have Christmas needle minders, right? Oh, goodness. It's like a slippery slope. And again, I blame you guys, my enablers, right? So funny. But I love you guys for it, so don't get me wrong. I'm not upset. And then I also got a few other patterns that I got. These are all from Annabella's shop on Etsy. She carries a lot of different stuff. But I got, this is Country Cottage Needleworks, and it is the snow sampler. So you know what, I better take it out of the plastic bag because it's going to have glare and I don't want that. So I got this pattern. It's the, snow sampler. Isn't that cute? I want to find some things that are not necessarily Christmas, but that I can decorate with in like the winter time, January, February, have them out because I have lots of holiday and things like that, but I don't have very many things for just winter time. So I loved that. So that's that one. And then I got, okay, this one I have to give a shout out to one of the Flosstubes that I started watching pretty shortly after I got introduced to Flosstube that like most of us watch is Brenda and Laura on Brenda and the Cereal Starter. You guys are hysterical. I love you so much. I love the joy you bring. I love the enthusiasm you bring to stitching. My husband loves to watch you. We like say phrases from you guys. It's so funny. Like the other day or a couple videos back where I think it was 2 videos back where Brenda just got back from the retreat that she went to, and you guys were about to show all your haul. And at the beginning, you were like, Laura, you were like, gird your loins. My husband still laughs about that to this day. And anytime we're going to dive into something, he'll just shout that out, gird your loins, honey. And we just crack up laughing. So thank you, Laura. Anyways, I saw Laura share this on there. Maybe it was Brenda. Maybe they were both sharing it. I can't remember. But this is by Little House Needleworks. It's called October's Party. And it is that. And I just love the saying. I'm not kind of so far a big sampler person. I tend to like really cutesy, really fun, kind of like frosted pumpkin stitchery. And I love all the Little House Needleworks and Country Cottage Needleworks. But this one, you guys, the saying is so wonderful. October gave a party, the leaves by hundreds came, the chestnuts, oaks, and maples, and leaves of every name. The sunshine spread a carpet, and everything was grand. Miss Weather led the dancing, Professor Wind the band. Ooh, I just love that. It just makes me so happy. And I think this would be so cool to pull out every fall and have it, on your wall or on a shelf somewhere. I just think it's so pretty. So thank you, Laura, for the inspiration for that one. And then I got two Little House Needleworks patterns. So this one is Little House Needleworks, and it is part of the Hometown Holiday line, and this is the post office. I mean, hello, how cute is that? It says little stamps, has a little wreath, has a little girl or boy, I don't know, with the little red bird, little cardinals, and it's the post office. And I mean, I love mailing letters and I love snail mail. I just thought it was so fun. And how many of us have packages that we mail out at Christmas? So I just love that. So I got that one. And then I also got in the same set the Hometown Holiday. It is by Little House Needleworks. It's the town church, which I just love that little church, the cardinal. I love the little nativity going on next to the church. It actually reminds me of growing up. The church that we were part of did a live nativity that they would use a ton of us from the youth group when we were in high school and stuff, junior high school, college age kids. They would use us to do all the different parts. Like we would all sign up to be doing the different parts of the live nativity. And then all these cars would pull up and then they would run the story of the nativity. There would be a narrator and we would like walk out and do the different parts. It was all set onto this hillside and there were lights beaming and cars would pull up and they would like blare the reading of the nativity story, and then we would act it out, and we would do it just over and over and over. You would sign up for like 2 hours of time to be a shepherd or, whatever, and you knew your part. And it was really fun. We did it every year. Like it was really fun. I did it with my friends in high school. Anyways, this this pattern reminds me of that little nativity being outside the church, Mary and Joseph, baby Jesus, the angel. So fun. So anyways, that's my haul for now. And yeah, the last thing I wanted to do, I got all of those patterns on Annabella's shop on Etsy. Annabella's. She's got some great patterns and she puts stuff on sale in her store. And so she's a fun shop that I follow on Etsy. I could follow so many. So I just wanted to do a little bit of a shout out to Flosstubers that have really been an encouragement to me. Obviously Fat Quarter Shop, Kimberly and all those guys, I just have loved learning, and she does her weekly things. And then, like I said, Brenda and the Serial Starter, Brenda and Laura have been wonderful. I've learned so much, and I just love the way you share. I love the way you guys, your relationship, just the fun you guys have. I love how you, love it, buy it, stitch it. Was that your rule, like right at the beginning? love it, buy it, stitch it. Anyways, I love it. So I couldn't agree more. Like stitch the things that you love, stitch the things that bring you joy. That has been such a good thing for me because it's again along the whole lines of bringing me healing and helping me in my health journey. It's just been that's what I do. I try to connect with my stitching with joy. And so that's been a really fun thing. And then I also love Nicola from Bumble Stitches. Nicola, you've been so fun to watch, and it's just been a joy to just see all of the things that you work on. And I love your little driving things that you include in the front of your Flosstube. That's really fun. And then Made by Michelle McGraw. You guys, a lot of you follow her. Her Flosstube, I love. I mean, she loves frosted pumpkin stitchery, and I love frosted pumpkin stitchery and all the cute stuff. So it's been fun to see her just pump out all these little smalls this year and all the little pillows. And I've been really inspired by Michelle for that. So thank you, Michelle. And then Elizabeth Ann can stitch. Same thing. Elizabeth Ann is like, I've just learned so many things from her, like, because she's also a quilter. So a lot of the fabrics and things that my husband has, she has. And then seeing how she finishes them and just fun. I've learned. And plus, Elizabeth Ann is just a lot of fun to watch. And then Sambry Stitches. I think that's how you say it. Sambry or Sabry Stitches. Um, she lives here in the Pacific Northwest. I'm not sure where. I haven't figured out in watching her videos yet where, but she's the one who does interviews with other Flosstubers, and I have loved those. It's been so fun to watch the interviews, and then I've slowly started watching Sambry Stitches, more of her Flosstube, and just I feel like I'm just getting to know you, so that's been fun. Um, and then I just found Crisscross Stitch, and he's a hoot. Love his inspiration, love his 80s flashbacks to toys that he loves and things. So that's been really fun. And then let's see. There's so many, you guys, that I could go on and on. I just feel like the Flosstube community is such a blessing. It's just so, I love getting to know different people. In college, I was a sociology social work major. And so I love people. I love learning about all different kinds of people. And so Flosstube is like fascinating in that way because we're all so different and we get to see, how we live, what we like. We learn about each other. So that's been super fun. So thank you. Also, I thought at the end here, I will share just a little bit of my crochet. So for those of you who are not into crochet, bye. If you don't want to watch anymore, it's been nice to meet you. And thank you for letting me come into this community and welcoming me. And so I think I'll share a little bit of my crochet for those of you who want to stick around. Just a couple little things, nothing major. I love to do really small projects along with blankets on the side because blankets and Afghans and stuff, you guys know who crochet. Those take a lot longer, right? And you can get bogged down in the middle of your blanket and be like, oh my gosh. And I don't know about you, but I need to sometimes feel like I can get a quick project done. I can whip something out or I can make a quick gift. So for my small little crochet projects, I love to make little coasters. So this is a set of, I don't sell these or anything. I'm not trying to advertise anything like that. This is a set of coasters that I make. I just whipped these out for Halloween. I love to have a set of little, of 4 coasters. I usually pick 2 colors for the kind of that season. And then I make 2 in each color. And then these are our coasters that we can have next to our, on the coffee table and next to our chairs and stuff in the living room. And also I love to do these for gifts too. This is a really simple pattern that I found on Ravelry. I don't know the name of it. I'll have to look it up, but it's a pattern that I got on Ravelry. And it's just such an easy, fun stitch. And you could do this in any color. So I have this in, blues for the winter time, pinks and reds for Valentine's Day, greens, and for March, St. Patrick's, and then I do springtime colors, and I do 4th of July, like reds and blues, and then at Christmas time, reds and greens, and fall, I have some fall ones that'll come out after October that I'll have like more of the autumn, you know, the deep reds and browns and golds, that kind of thing. So anyways, this is a fun little easy, simple cross stitch thing. And then I'll just show you one thing that I'm working on right now. This is just one. There's a bunch of people we know who are having babies. And so I'm working on a baby blanket. And so this is the baby blanket that I'm working on. It is going to be like 36 by, it's actually ended up being a little bit longer, but looks like this. It's 36 by 40 is probably what it's going to end up being. And it's a natural striping yarn. Automatically stripes on its own. It's the Karen Baby Cakes. And it's the self-striping yarn, but for Yarn Inspirations. It's sold at Michael's. And then what I'm doing is I didn't have enough to do it just in the purple, so I'm combining it. And what I do is I'll use all of one ball. So this is from the bottom up to here is the one ball. And then I switched to the pink colorway. And I'm doing the pink one, and I'll do that one. And then I'll go back to a purple one, pink, and so on until I have the blanket done. So, because it doesn't make very tall, you know, and you kind of need about 4 to 6 to do the blanket. So this is just the Lucy's pattern from Attic 24 for the granny stripe stitch. Really easy, makes up really fast, and this is a really soft yarn. So it's perfect for baby blankets, and I've got a baby shower coming up, so that's what I'm making. That's what I'm working on, and it's really easy. I sometimes will work on that in the morning when I'm still kind of defrosting and waking up, because it's just easy to stitch on and I don't have to think. And then I tend to cross stitch more in the evenings when I'm more focused and I can give my attention fully to it and stuff. So that's a little bit of my crochet. So that's all of that for now. So thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'm super excited to be a part of this community. I'm not sure how often I'll do these videos. I'm thinking maybe a couple times a month, like every couple of weeks or so. And yeah, thank you for letting me come, and thank you for joining me here. And I look forward to getting to know all of you guys. I will talk to you soon. Bye.